It's an honor and a privilege to be here today. Scott and I are always really grateful for the chance to share a little bit about what we're up to at MOD. It's especially meaningful when we get to do that in our own community. This is our hometown. As Jim mentioned, we opened the first MOD about 10 years ago downtown Seattle, but the second MOD opened about 3 blocks from here on Bellevue Way. And it has been a very busy 10 years for us to get the business where it is now. The metrics of our growth are very validating and encouraging. Of course, they're exciting. But they are not the why of MOD. The truth is, we have a purpose that goes far beyond our pizza or a profit. And that's what I'd like to share a bit about with you today. MOD exists to serve people. And we're committed to this idea of using our business as a platform to make a positive social impact on as many lives as we can. What's interesting to note is this decision was not part of some well-thought-out, preconceived business plan. It really wasn't. The potential of this business to impact was actually revealed to us in the early days by some very special hires. The purpose of MOD actually developed organically by the people of MOD, for the people of MOD, and ultimately for the people that we're able to serve in all of our communities. For those that don't know much about the history of MOD, I can give you a little bit of background. As Jim mentioned, we opened 10 years ago. MOD was born at the start of the financial crisis of 2008. Probably not the most ideal time to be launching a new concept. And not only were we starting a new business, we had to create an entirely new category, because 10 years ago there was no fast casual pizza. So these dynamics presented some real challenges, and thankfully, they forced us to think about this business in unconventional ways. In hindsight, the recession actually played a very significant role in helping inform what MOD could, and more importantly, what MOD should become. We thought hard about things like prices and wages. We developed the one price concept. Up until MOD, if you ordered an extra topping on your pizza, you had to pay more. We wanted to simplify things. Simple food for complex times. One flat price, no matter the toppings. It felt right to not nickel and dime our customers, especially during a recession. Early on, customers assumed there was a catch, and we actually had a lot of fun watching them realize there's no catch, there are no strings attached. We just wanted to do what felt right and fair. We had their back. We also focused on providing great job opportunities and did our best to pay a living wage. From the start, and very much in response to the recession, we wanted MOD to do things the right way and to do what was actually needed. Lowest price for a customer, best possible pay for an employee. We grew very slowly in the first few years. We had to figure all of these things out. So our first few locations were actually laboratories. By store number 5, about 3 years into the life of MOD, we knew that we were sitting on a very big opportunity. This was a concept that could be scaled. But with the big opportunity came a very big question. What would make it worth it? So Scott and I had to have many heart-to-heart conversations about this. If we're going to commit ourselves to build this thing, we knew it needed to matter and it needed to make a difference. We felt strongly that the last thing the world needed was another soulless restaurant chain. And in deciding to grow MOD, we were very influenced by this powerful and unique culture that had already taken hold at MOD. We noticed that some of our early hires were actually the source of this unique and now growing culture. Surprisingly enough, the most impactful hires were our second chance employees. By standard measure, these individuals were unemployable. They had significant barriers to employment. But they wanted and they needed a chance. Some people thought we were absolutely crazy for the hiring risks that we took in those early days. But what was perhaps even crazier was the realization that it was these individuals who had become the fiercest protectors of our business. Their work ethic and commitment astonished us. We had simply provided a job opportunity, some stability, security, most importantly, a sense of belonging. And as a result, they were thriving. And once they were thriving, they kept seeking opportunities to pay it back, pay it forward to the next mod squatter, to the next customer. We realized there was a ripple effect from people simply doing the right thing. We now call this spreading modness. We were seeing lives being changed and rebuilt using the platform of mod. This is what we were absolutely willing to build: a business that could be used to positively impact as many people as possible. We refer to what we're doing now as enlightened capitalism, unapologetically for profit, whose purpose it is to make a positive social impact. This is Mod's why. Our purpose-led, people-focused approach sits at the heart of Mod, and we think about it with just about every single decision we make. At this point, we jokingly say that pizza has actually become a front for this bigger purpose to serve people and spread modness. We do this in two ways. We employ people and we feed people. Of course, we feed our customers. We are so grateful for the many, many customers that we're able to serve day in and day out. We also feed our mod squad. Every day when the over 7,000 employees come to work a shift, they're treated to a free meal. And for many of them, it might be the best meal of their day. We also prioritize feeding our communities through giving back. For the opening day of every new mod, 100% of all pizza sales go to support a local nonprofit that's doing great work in that community. And then sometimes the need is just so great that we're compelled to take more action through what we call organized modness. For example, the systemic problem of childhood hunger really hit home for us and many at Mod. In partnership with a nonprofit, we've been helping to fund meal packing events across the country. This year alone, we're on track to help pack and distribute over 500,000 meals for food insecure youth. And these meals are not pizzas. They are compact meal kits of beans and rice that can be slipped into a hungry child's backpack. We're using the platform of pizza sales to fund this impact work, feeding people through organized modness. And we employ people. We hire about 30 new employees every time we open a mod. And we take this responsibility very seriously, considering it our job to provide best-in-class training and development opportunities for our hires. Impact hiring continues to be a major priority for us. We strive to provide second chances, fresh starts, and job opportunities for people that have various barriers to employment. So we've come a pretty long way on this journey with Mod, and we'll need to keep learning and evolving. But the clarity that we now have around our purpose and our understanding of how best we can impact has really come from paying attention to all of the amazing people that have joined Mod. Before I wrap up, I'd like to share a quick story from one of our early second chance hires. Prior to Mod, Tony had been a dishwasher in prison. Once out, he found a home at Mod and a job that provided some security and stability, a sense of belonging and purpose. His contributions to our business were and continue to be immeasurable, as is his sense of gratitude. He has written us not one, not two, but 3 handwritten thank you notes. I'd like to read one to you now. Dear Allie, thank you so much for giving me a place that truly feels like home, for creating an environment where the cost of admission is doing what's right, for being an example of these values and being a positive influence in people's lives, for giving me the opportunity to exercise gratitude by passing that on to the next person. Thank you so much for allowing me to ride along on this wonderful journey. The best part about being given this opportunity to change my life is the opportunity to share that and change others' lives. And for that, I thank you. Tony. Tony started as a dishwasher at Mod. He's worked his way up. Today, he's one of our star district managers, and he's in charge of 6 locations in the Seattle area. We consider him a true, yeah. We do consider him a true role model, and I emphasize the M-O-D in that word. As I mentioned earlier, so much of what we're doing at Mod is not part of a grand plan. Much has come from just paying attention to people like Tony. They are the inspiration for Mod. Mod has shown us in the past 10 years that there are opportunities to make a difference everywhere. And these opportunities can be so much more impactful when we partner with great organizations that are working hard to solve the problems of today. Organizations like Vision House. Obviously, it's why we're all here. They have been at it for 28 years. They've cracked the code on homelessness. And I think it's vital that each of us do whatever we can today to help support their ongoing work. In my role as Mod's protector of the purpose, my job is to try and inspire and share and ultimately protect and perpetuate our purpose. When doing this, I'm constantly reminded of my favorite poet, Mary Oliver's instructions for living a life. She says, pay attention, be astonished, and tell about it. That's what we did with Tony. We just paid attention. He astonished us. He told us about it, and I got to tell you. That's the ripple effect at work. When somebody is brave enough to share their personal story, the impact can be immense. Lucky for us, we get to hear such a story right now. It is my honor to be able to introduce a very inspiring and brave woman who's going to help us really understand the potential and purpose of Vision House. Please help me in welcoming Viviana.